Investing rules to instantly become rich. Robert Kiyosaki. Investing is purchasing assets such as stocks, bonds, shares, real estate, or commodities with the intentions of either selling them at a higher price to profit or having the assets generate passive income for them in the long run. When it comes to investing, the first thing that comes to mind is a risk. Your strategy is determined by your risk tolerance and the amount of time and effort you are willing to put in. As a result, anyone with some savings can invest, but they must first understand what it is and follow these basic investing rules. Today's video shows you some investing rules by Robert Kiyosaki that will help you instantly become rich. Here we begin. Convert ordinary income into a passive one. Most people begin their careers as employees, earning a regular wage. However, the path to wealth begins with understanding that there are other types of income and then converting your earned income as efficiently as possible into the other types of income. This is why when someone receives a raise, he does not advise them to put in a 401k or to live below their means, which essentially means saving. Rather, he advises them to pay themselves first and then invest the remainder in cash-flowing assets. So, in a nutshell, turn your pay raise into passive income. Learn how to raise capital. Raising capital can be intimidating and requires intelligence, learning, effort, and creativity. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, suggests that there is always a way to find the money for it with a good investment deal. However, raising capital is more difficult because it requires preparations and becoming well-informed, educated, and experienced. However, this process would educate and assist in becoming a good or better investor because one must first figure out how to afford it and learn in the process. Investing one's own money is simple, so the key here is to be a good investor, and one must first educate themselves. Learn to evaluate risk and reward. To become a successful investor, you must first learn to assess risk and reward. Rich father used the example of a nephew constructing a burger stand. Learning and mastering the investing rules necessitates a lifetime investment in financial education. However, these fundamentals will get you started. After that, it is entirely up to you where you go from here. Good deals attract money. As a new investor, one of my main concerns was how I would raise funds if I found a good deal. Rich Dad reminded me that it was my responsibility to remain focused on the opportunities in front of me and to be prepared. If you are prepared, which means you have education and experience, Rich Dad explained, and you find a good deal, the money will find you, or you will find the money. The point made by Rich Dad was that getting the money was the easy part. The difficulty was finding a great deal that drew the money, which is why so many people are willing to lend money to be a good investor. Financial education. Financial education entails knowing what income and expenses are and how to leverage debt, assets, liabilities, and cash flow. Understanding the fundamentals of accounting processes and cash flow management can also be beneficial. People are taught in traditional schools to study hard, get high-paying jobs, work hard, pay their taxes, and pay off their debt. As a result, financial education, in addition to academic and professional studies, is critical. Because of the growing wealth gap, young people now earn less than their parents or grandparents due to the overall cost of living, high rent, buying a house, and having to pay off ridiculously high student loan debts. However, the overall sentiment is changing. According to a 2020 BlackRock survey, approximately 45% of millennials are more interested in investing than they were just 5 years ago. Millennials and Generation Z are digital natives, with technology pervasive in their daily lives, allowing them to quickly turn their hobbies into passive income streams, launch their own businesses, and educate themselves financially. Be prepared. Most people try to predict what will happen and when will it happen. A true investor, on the other hand, is prepared for anything. A good opportunity will pass you by if you are not prepared with education, experience, or extra cash, said the Rich Dad. Rich Dad said it was more important to focus on what you wanted, keep your eyes open to what was going on, and respond to opportunities rather than predict what would happen. This is accomplished through ongoing education and application. The investor is the liability or asset. Many people believe that investing is dangerous. The reality, however, is that the investor is the one who is taking the risk. The asset or liability is the investor. He's seen investors lose money when everyone else is making money, Rich Dad explained. A good investor loves to thrill a risky investment because that's where the real investment bargains are. To progress from being a risky investment to a good investor, you must first invest in your financial education. Start small with your investments as part of your education because nothing beats real-life experience. Learn from your mistakes and then make bigger and bigger investments. Invest in cash flow. In business, cash flow refers to the amount of money that comes in and goes out of a company. Money earned from sales as revenues and money spent on costs as expenses. It can also refer to passive income from assets. Investing in cash flow means purchasing assets that will generate ongoing income, such as rental apartments or royalties. Robert Kiyosaki considers these four pillars: income and expenses, assets and liabilities, and cash flow statement. Overall, Kiyosaki's cash flow highlights the differences in thinking between the middle class and the wealthy. The idea is that the wealthy understand the distinction between an asset and a liability and purchase assets to earn income from those assets rather than earning income from a high salary, which is also the most taxed. To truly build wealth, Kiyosaki recommends distinguishing between assets and liabilities, investing in assets rather than liabilities, improving cash flow management, salary being taxed the most, and high income leading to higher taxes, and acquiring income-generating assets. Let us know your views in the comments below and subscribe for more.